upper right in the red. He is Fantasy.
Wow.
How's that?
That was really good.
In the bottom left in the blue, our Zerg player, he is Hyun.
I gotta say, it's not doing it for me.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself.
You are not as good as the robotic female voice that we normally have.
Yeah. I don't know why we don't have that voice for this, but it was short notice when we got this.
It's all right. It's fun to have you do it every now and then.
Not fun for me, man. I'm like, oh, hold up.
Well, well, well. Didn't we talk about the fact that it'd be kind of surprising if this went, you know, the distance without any proxy racks play?
Yeah,
and
we did
proxy
say
racks
that.
play is what we will have.
Okay, cool. Double racks.
Now,
This
is
is
this one of those
certainly a map.
ethical builds you were talking about before?
This is purely unethical. It depends, though.
But if you're up 2-1 in the series,
It would depend on our weighing mechanism for ethics or tosis. Is it ethical because it is a win? Is a win what is the most ethical? Or is it, do we have to go the other ethical route, which would be premised off the idea that you didn't play the game for real? I could beat you in a straight-up game.
both seem legitimate to me.
Yeah.
I see the value in both, and I've definitely cried at both in the
What was
past.
that whole thing we were talking about? Like, this is like a couple years back, but like, you know, I don't know where this is from originally, but the idea that you had to beat death in a chess game. If you could beat death in a chess game, then you could then live forever.
Journey.
Yeah, yeah. And so let's imagine if you had to play death in StarCraft.
Oh, he'd get wrecked,
And
man.
you just like cheese him out, and he's like, "You didn't even play the game right." It's like, "Shut up, Death."
Yeah. God, I got to rewatch those Bill and Ted movies. I used to watch those so much.
But that's that based off Bill and Ted. That's from something else. There's some old.
No, it is from Bill and Ted.
No. There's something that like 200 years old or 300 years old that's based off of. Oh
well,
my God,
I mean,
those
those movies are from the 80s, so I don't think they're 200 years old, Taste. Oh, wow, look at that. They actually grab one of these drones.
And by the way, the other SCV is
All right,
pretty.
SCVs, yeah.
The other SCV is pretty bruised, man.
Look, and he's got a while to actually get in here. All right, he does cancel one.
Oh, wow, in your face.
Oh, wow,
Right next
yeah,
to that spine
seriously.
crawler. Come at me, bro.
He's not screwing around with that. But we're going to see it. He's pulling a lot of drones right now. If he can get these SCVs, it's pretty big. If you can get the Marines, obviously, that's nice.
Now going for the SCV making that bunker. The SCV is almost taken out, but there's a second SCV over there. He jumps in.
Okay, he still has half the build time here to get rid of this SCV, and he should be able to do it. He does get it. There are no more SCVs on the way. I'm surprised he didn't send another one here because I think he'll probably hold now. He does have the queen out as well.
Well, now he has a bunker here. They can't really do anything.
So is this where he makes 2 command centers?
I guess.
Like basically, when your don't prox racks doesn't work, you make 2 command centers. That's the strat.
That is the play. Now, obviously, Hyun's going to know that. By the way, Hyun does have an extra drone on the map. You do end up in somewhat of a disadvantage in some regards as fantasy. Oh, God, don't do that. You do end up in somewhat of a disadvantage because you have to relocate the barracks here. So you're not making Marines. So you can have a follow-up attack that will do a lot of damage.
Yeah, he didn't really lose very much at all. He lost 3 drones. I mean, obviously he had to make lings and a spine crawler and whatnot and lost some mining time, but Hyun has to be happy with where this game's at right now. And look, he's even getting in here and scouting. He sees double gas behind 3 command, so it's exactly what Hyun would expect. Every Zerg in the world would expect. This is just like what you do when double racks doesn't work.
This is all textbook here.
Yeah.
So we see a number of lings, and we don't have gas being mined right now. We don't have any ling speed here. Doesn't mean we won't have a follow-up attack. These lings now are going to come around here. He sees that the Marines see that the lings are in pursuit, albeit not speedlings.
Well, you know, as long as they get back behind this wall, everything should be fine.
You know what's kind of funny? The lings are going to get there right before the bunker gets done. These actually can all die. This is actually so bad.
Oh my God!
No, I think they. Okay. Yeah, they do get.
I was going to
thought
say,
they were actually
if there was only one in there, that's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
nothing is going to work for you, Fantasy. But hey, man, I want to see a Game 5. Like,
okay, if I was Hyun here, I would consider doing some kind of a Baneling bust, but it looks like we're not going to have that.
you know, if he goes for like a Baneling bust here, I think one of the problems is he doesn't have speed yet. If he did, he could definitely consider it.
That's why I was thinking, I was hoping he was going to get gas earlier, because when you do this, all right, so you made the Marines, you lost some of them in the attack, obviously. Now, then you had to float the barracks, so you can't make Marines when the barracks is flying. Then you have to make the add-ons with the barracks. So you actually are sitting back on like 4 Marines, 6 Marines for a long time.
That's very true.
It's something that Zerg can definitely exploit, but Hyun is going to take the macro route.
Yeah. I think Hyun here, he's like, well, if I lose this game, I don't go to BlizzCon. And the way this game has gone, he will enter the, like, probably straight up the late game at least even. And I think that is probably what he's going to be looking for here. Because, like, let's say he does the Baneling attack. If it doesn't kill Fantasy, Fantasy is going to win the game because he has 3 command centers and his economy is going to be way ahead because you put so much. It would be
one of those strategies where it's all hinged on one moment.
Yeah.
That's sort of what Hyun did last time, and it should have worked, but it didn't because he didn't execute it well. So I suppose he can't be blamed for not doing that again here.
Yeah, it's he chose his spot in the last game for a move like that. Didn't work. You know what? Why not just try to bring this to Game 5 right now?
Discard the build.
I like it.
Try a different approach. When was the game that Hyun won? It was Game 2, and it was all macro. And not to mention, these guys are in cross spots here. I mean, Zerg...
Huge map.
Yeah, huge map, and they're in cross spots. So Zerg really has a big berth between the Terran's push and the expansions he wants to take. So we see Zerg now going for 1-1 with range attack. And Fantasy just now starting to get on his feet and make basic Terran composition. He still has to finish that up by getting the medevacs coming out here, and that'll be happening in a little bit.
Well, we'll see what he can do with this. The fact that Hyun is going for a roach-based composition is pretty exciting and fun. Going to give him a lot of power on the ground. Now, drop play can be quite nice against that because you don't have, like, let's say Muta's out. You're kind of defending with, like, queens and stuff and just running your roaches around well. But he might be looking to put the aggression on with this type of play and say absolutely no to a third base. And with the kind of advantage that he went into this game with 1-1 and roach speed, absolutely he's going to be able to force a liftoff at that third and keep it lifted off for a very long time. Yeah,
and with an attack like that, it's not one that Terran can usually win with their micro as much.
Yeah.
You know, when you have just Ling, Baneling, there's a lot of tricks. You can get in positions. Roach, I mean, they're the real muscle of Zerg. Yeah, you pretty much can't contest. If you don't have enough, you don't win.
Yeah, when Zerg goes Roach, and by the way, Hyun definitely one of the better players at this against Bioplay, but you need macro like Innovation or Flash or Maru or something like that to go pure Bio and hold it off. Otherwise, you need some more tech units. And the way Fantasy's been playing is like, okay, you know, I'll have a few Hellbats, a few Widow Mines, but mostly just Marines and a few Marauders. And the type of macro that he has and how kind of slow his start to the game was with the failed rush, I think that strategically, I think that Hyun has actually made such a fantastic call with the roaches here.
Yeah, this is really smart. I know we don't always see roaches used against Terran, especially against the Terran unit comp, but let's go back to the very start here and the fact that Terran rushed like that. By the way, Hellion's now coming up here. And a great block, really good block. However, Hellions do still slip through, and more workers are probably going to be picked out. Meanwhile, though, there is an attack over here at the front. Hyun weighing his options right now. He needs to tear down this wall if he wants to get in here and truly do a lot of damage. There are 3 medevacs, which that could be a little bit tough. It might not be enough to take on all these roaches. There is, however, one Marauder in this group. Wants to target down that Marauder first.
He gets right in here, dealing so much damage with these 1-1 roaches of speed. All the SCVs coming up realizing that he just doesn't have the units to actually counteract these roaches. That bunker going to end up going down, and he continues to push forward here, killing a bunch of SCVs on the way.
Many more roaches on the way. Our SCV's not quite repaired in time, and this is just too much. I mean, he pulls back right when he doesn't quite have enough roaches, and then the reinforcements meet up. And the problem right now is that, you know, Terran just has a very difficult time in any way holding this. However, Terran now sees that there are mass roaches and is producing Marauders, and Marauders are like Immortal Junior, okay, here against the roaches. They're like Diet Immortal.
Yeah, so, that's really good.
Yeah, so
they're Immortal Zero.
They're
immortal without caffeine.
Yeah. I'm like, could you say they're Cherry Immortal? No, absolutely not.
They're not Cherry Immortal. What?
So So they're coming in now. This is a great arc that the Roaches have. They're really able to optimize damage. Note how he's targeting some of the SCVs down here around the bunker. What was the bunker? It is now gone. SCVs are coming in here. They're soaking up a good amount of the damage. We got some Widow Mines coming down here. There is an oh, whoa, nice targeting. Yeah, the Widow Mine actually gunning down the Overseer.
Yeah, he ends up taking out that Roach army, but the thing is, a counterattack is not really going to be doable. His medevacs are basically sapped for energy. He's got a very small army, and it's too far across the map. So Hyun actually made a big round of drones after that before getting back into some units. And that's great, because he's killed off so many workers. It's 71 drones to 37 SCVs, and that just gives Hyun, who just took his 4th base, such a big advantage over a 2-base Fantasy just taking his 3rd.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I mean, yes, Fantasy got a bit of a breather here, but that doesn't matter because Hyun has just powered up even more. And, you know, Fantasy is attempting to come across the map. This may be his nail in the coffin here, as I think Hyun will always have more than enough to ever face off against this. Because Hyun had superior economics due to the failed rush from Fantasy early on, he can start going Roach Hydra. You can actually do that.
Yeah. Absolutely, with 2-2 and all the upgrades, like Roach Hydra are going to just slaughter this off. When you have the advantage, you can go for something like that. Hard when Terran has an advantage or, you know, is even with you. But
yeah,
here Fantasy in kind of a weird position. His 3rd base economy, very slow going. Trying to get something done here, though. Let's see what he can get done.
By the way, losing medevacs in this situation is doubly bad.
Indeed.
Because if you don't have enough medevacs when a big attack comes up here, Roach Hydra just run you over.
Oh, look at this.
Here we go.
Oh, man.
Oh, I think he could have gotten that. I think he could have gotten that for sure.
That was a misclick. He definitely
Hold up.
Definitely right about that.
Tense moment here.
Okay, big moment for Fantasy getting away.
Yeah, that could have been it, man. So, Hyun, you know, playing for his WCS life right now, doing a fantastic job, is now hitting the max out point. Now, he may or may not stay on this unit composition. It sort of depends. But what he will most certainly do is attack in and deplete his max out. Obviously, the game doesn't let you make more than 200 supply worth of units. So what are you going to do with all that extra money? Well, you're going to throw that in the Terran's face, keep them from getting maxed out since they have to trade accordingly, and then you max out again. And he's going to have a lot of minerals to make lings here.
Yeah, he certainly is.
So, and the lings are a great follow-up because they're so fast they get there in time, always. They can always meet up while this battle's still going on. So keep your eye on the supply as we'll see Zerg's supply just shoot right back up when it's not microwave.
Quite a few Marauders here. The Hydra's doing a lot of damage from that back line. Hyun continues to press forward, and Fantasy running back. He's going to have to run all the way back, though. And actually takes a nice concave here up the top of the ramp, and as soon as the Roaches are gone, you definitely can cut through Hydras.
Yeah, that was pretty huge back there. And I know he made 26 more Roaches. I thought he was going to follow this up with like supplemented lings, but apparently not. And we'll see how that goes because there are so many Marauders. Obviously, lings are quite good against Marauders.
Yeah, I think it has to do just with the way upgrades have gone this game. Because he doesn't have any melee attack upgrades, against
true.
a +2 armor on those Marauders, it's going to be pretty tough to kill him anyways. So I like him kind of going up with the Roaches. What I don't like is the lack of mining at the 4th base of Hyun. That's something that can bite him in the ass at the end, but he's got a healthy enough drone count. It's just Fantasy's done a good job kind of harassing over there.
Also keep in mind, one of the reasons why we don't always see Roach Hydra against Terran is because medevacs do become very strong. There's not a lot that Zerg can do about it since they're not flying around the map most of the game with Mutalisks. So, and this is another factor here. But again, Hyun already maxed out. He remaxes with a unit comp he finds appropriate. That would be Roach Hydra again here.
And now look at this. This is very nice micro from Fantasy, kind of pulling back.
Whoa,
look at this, pulls back right there. Beautiful move.
Hydra's attacking the wrong way. It looks like there's a floating something over there.
Yeah, he has a floating factory over there, kind of draw some fire and watch for this coming in. But look, Fantasy's doing his absolute best here. This is like really smart play the way he's doing. He's trying to pull back here, trying to get pot shots at these Roaches.
Look at this. He's going to get the CC too.
Yeah, that's pretty big. But, you know, he's almost mined out the main. Maybe he'll float that down in a little bit. Does continue to back up. That medevac's still alive over on the other side, trying to get some harassment
down
here.
Zerg can't run away with this army. I just want to point this out. Stim Marine Marauder will always chase us down and attack. That's why you just see Zerg committing here.
Yeah, absolutely can't get out of there. But even losing these queens now.
What is the energy on the medevacs? I believe they're depleted.
Oh, they're really low at this point. Like single digits on everything. But look, he actually will end up taking all of this out. And it's exactly like we were talking about, where Hyun's like, okay, I don't want him to max out, so I'm going to continually put the pressure on, continually attack, and trade here. But the thing is with roaches, the higher you get in supply, the less of them are actually attacking at once. So Fantasy's doing some fancy micro to make sure that, like, basically during all these engagements, all of Fantasy's units are firing almost all the time, whereas Hyun, it's like much smaller percentages, like half of his units are firing at once.
Oh my God, is he going to do this? This is insane. All right, he's going to go for a drop with medevacs that have no energy. Now, in fairness to Fantasy, Hyun can't be everywhere at once with this army. The strength of the army that Zerg has is that when you face it head on, it's tough to deal with. The disadvantage is that, I don't want to compare it too much to mech, but sort of with the same concept. You know, you can't be everywhere at once. Oh, man.
Oh, and that was one of the ones that had units in it.
Yeah, don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah, this is not going to really end up working. The thing is, Fantasy knows how dead he is after losing that command center, so this is a desperate gambit indeed, and not going to pay off for him.
Hydras on creep moving pretty fast. Ragtag group of roaches down here causing some problems over there in that expansion.
Those roaches doing good enough, I think. Everything going to be cleaned up. Probably going to have to see a GG coming out here. But you know what, Fantasy, he's still trying to get something done with 1/4 the supply of Hyun.
Yeah, the supply is also the real story here. If we looked at the number of bases and the number of resources they have, it would look much closer. But when you just take a look at 65 supply to 191,
yeah.
Ugh.
It's hard to imagine how Fantasy would ever be able to pull a win out of that. The next attack should be able to end it. But you know, Hyun did get into this mode of just kind of trading in over and over and over until Fantasy is out of money.
He had an advantage, and he set his advantage up to sustain throughout this game.
It's a good and
Shame
cool
on
way
you
to
for
play
bunker rushing me, Fantasy.
Yeah, it didn't work.
with your textbook double command center. You know?
I liked the way that he did this. It was really cool.
And we now have a Terran that is completely, without a home right now, if you will. He's going to try to keep the Zerg juggling. I do like he's going to go for this hatchery. Look, he can take out as many bases as he wants. The real question is, how will he ever take out the supply that Zerg's already mustered?
Yeah, he won't.
GG, there it is.